Peace, peace, peace. Shalom, shalom. Shalom. Assalamu alaikum. And welcome to another day to labor in the vineyard of the Most High with your brother. Another day to get in the Word to see what the Most High got to serve. And what we eating on today? Demons, devils, and evil spirits. To get a better understanding of the things that's around us. The things that's inside us and the things that afflict us. How you gonna be a soldier in the army of Jah and you don't even know who your real opponent is? And we got preachers and teachers out here deflecting us to look at people and to look at flesh. But if the Lord your God is a spirit, your enemies is spirits, because your true nature is a spirit. The flesh is just the house of the spirit. But we spirits, we fighting a spiritual war. But people got us looking at people like they the enemies. No, it's what's operating inside of the people. That's the enemies. Alright? Let's eat. We're going to start in Doctrine and Covenants. Doctrine and Covenants. One of the texts left for us from my brother Joseph. Doctrine and Covenants, chapter 50. And we got a lot of brothers out here teaching the same thing that the Catholic Church teach. Talking about this person the devil and that person the devil and this book the devil and that book the devil. Nah. When the Most High trained me, anybody that I heard that taught like the Gentiles, Most High told me put a red flag behind them. Put a red flag beside their name. Watch them carefully. Because they teaching the same thing that the Gentiles teaching, they gonna take you astray somewhere. Alright? That's just a word to the wise that the Spirit gave me on my journey, so I'm sharing it with y'all. Ain't no person the devil, ain't no book the devil. The devil you can't see with your physical eyes. It's a spirit. Alright? Let's see. Doctrine and Covenants, chapter 50, verse 2. Behold, verily I say unto you, that there are many spirits. There are many spirits, which are false spirits, which are gone forth in the earth, deceiving the world. And also Satan has sought to deceive you, that he might overthrow you. Now why he want to overthrow us? Because we heirs to the throne. And he not. Because he rebelled. So he want to keep out as many of us as he can. Alright? Since he can't be an heir to the throne due to his voluntarily rebellion, he get us to voluntarily rebel with him. Alright? And to join him and his angels fighting on the wrong team. And most of us don't know we on the wrong team. And we on it. But that's why we going through these lessons. Next, let's go to the seal portion right quick. Let's go to the seal portion. Keep your mind focused on spirits and spiritual things, and you be alright. The church keep us focused on carnal things, and that's where we go wrong. Chapter 87. Chapter 87. Seal portion. Starting at verse 50. And in the latter days, the people of the whole earth shall worship Satan as their God. In the last days, the people of the whole earth shall worship Satan or Lucifer as their God. But they should not see him for who he really is. For in that day, Satan shall deceive the children of men and cause them to believe that the devil got horns and a tail and is a monster of gruesome appearance. And that hell is a place of fire and brimstone where the wicked are cast and are continually burnt forever. There go two deceptions right there that a lot of our own brethren still teach. That hell is a place of fire and brimstone where the wicked are cast and are continually burnt forever. That's the fear doctrine that came from the Catholic Church. In the scriptures is symbolic. And then we got the devil with the horns. The same way brothers out here teaching that the devil is the white man. And then you got others teaching that these Negroes is the devil. So it's keeping you focused on the wrong enemy. And that's why all of us as a whole continually was losing. Until the Most High started opening us up spiritually to understand differently. And then we can fight the real enemies. Long as you fighting the pretend enemies, ain't gonna be no elevation. You gonna stay in the same spot you is. Cause Satan and his angels is gonna keep laughing and getting you false idols to pretend as them. Oh, that's the devil right there. That's the devil right there. No. That's all wrong. For in that day, Satan shall deceive the children of men. Verse 51. Now, this he shall cause to be taught unto you, because he do not want you to know the true nature of his being. These teachings he shall cause to be taught unto you, because he do not want you to know the true nature of his being. And one day ye shall all see him for who he truly is, and then ye shall wonder after him, because ye shall see that he is like unto you in the spirit, not in the flesh, because he won't allow to incarnate into the flesh. But we are spirits, and he is a spirit. And that he is your brother. And that he is your brother. This is what a lot of people stumble at, especially coming from the Christian church. People cannot process and get it through their mind how Lucifer, Jesus, and us are all brethren. We all come from the same Father. Lucifer is a spirit. Jesus is a spirit, but Jesus was allowed to incarnate into the flesh the same way we was forced to get incarnated into the flesh. Lucifer wasn't allowed to incarnate into the flesh because of his rebellion. But all of us are spiritual children of the Most High. And you either gonna follow your righteous brother or you gonna follow the ways of your wicked brother. And there is your brother and a son of the same God who created all of the spirits that exist in this world. You gonna follow one of your brothers. Everybody can proclaim to love Jesus because of the Christian church, but your actions and your mouth portray that you following your other brother. Let's go to the Cobran. Let's go to the Cobran Bible. The Cobran Bible. Page 461. Chapter 9. Verse 1. Man is prone to error. Now hold on. Verse 2. That's where we want to go. Like a sleeping man in hostile terrain, the slumbering soul spirit, the unawakened spirit, is defenseless and exposed to attack. Good and evil spirits, good and evil spirits, exert influence upon it. And unless stirred to wakefulness, it cannot discern one from the other. Unless you become awakened to knowledge of self, who you are as a spirit, you would not be able to discern righteous spirits from wicked spirits. From the moment of its conception into mortality, speaking on the spirit, the soul spirit is subject to influences operating under the law of affinity, which either attract or repel. So we either attract more of these evil spirits or we repel them by our actions. The things that come out our mouth, the people we hang around. Because you got to think, people on a low vibration, they carrying a whole lot of spirits with them that's also on low vibrations. And they bring them into your cycle. Alright, we're about to read about that now. Let's go into the Third Testament. The Third Testament. Get some more of the words of our righteous big brother. Chapter 40. Chapter 40 called the forces of good and evil. Starting at verse 8. The religions recognize the power of evil and have personified it in human form. They have given it various names and attribute it to a powerful kingdom. Men feel fear when they believe it near, not knowing that the temptation lies in their own passions and weaknesses, nor that inside men both good and evil are active. We just read that in the code. Both good and evil spirits are active within your life. Evil predominates in the world at this time and has created a strength of power that is manifest in all. In the spiritual realm too, there are legions of imperfect and troubled spirits. There are legions of imperfect and troubled spirits, inclined to evil and vengeance, whose strength is joined to human evil to create the kingdom of evil, or the kingdom of darkness. So the key word we see right here, legions, many upon many upon many, of imperfect and troubled spirits inclined to evil and vengeance, whose strength is joined to human evil. Wicked humans attract wicked spirits. And we see right here, that's how they create the kingdom of darkness. All right. Right now, we helping to bring back the kingdom of light. All right, we helping to usher in the kingdom of light right now. That's what the children of light are assigned to do at the end, by elevating our vibrations and releasing the truth into the earth. We helping to dismiss the veil of darkness from the wicked kingdom. All right, we exposing all the wickedness and how it operates. If you expose the operations of the kingdom, we can better understand it and we better prepare for the fight. You can't fight in the Most High army when you don't know who you fighting against. You're going to continually lose. All right? And we don't want to embarrass the Most High. If we claim we true followers of the Most High, we got to know our enemies and who he told us to fight. It's spirits. We ain't got time to be warring after flesh. No, that's a waste of time. That's why the Most High pulled me out the black power phase of my life. He It was like, nah. This gonna lead you astray. And you ain't gonna be able to fulfill your mission properly. Because you gonna be doing the same thing the other ones doing that can't see the truth. This is a spiritual fight. Verse 12. How erroneously the existence of the prince of darkness has been interpreted. How many had come to believe more in his power than in mine? And how far from truth men travel in this belief. Evil exists. From it, all vices and sins have derived. The sinners, or rather, those who practice evil, have always existed on earth, just as in other worlds or dwelling places. Yet, why personify all existing evil in one being? And why do you have him confront the divinity? Why do you have him confront the divinity? I ask you, what is an impure being compared to my absolute and infinite power? And what does your sin mean to my perfection? What does your sin mean to my perfection? The devil is only an adversary because that's the way we view it. Yahushua, Yeshua, Isa, Emmanuel, brother Jesus, didn't view him as an adversary. He wasn't no problem to him. He told him, get on. Get behind me. Because he knew he had all the power and wisdom of the Father. Whereas Lucifer didn't. Lucifer didn't receive all the wisdom, even though he wiser than all of us, because he was the light-bearing angel. He didn't receive all the wisdom of the Father. But Yahushua did. Yeshua did. Therefore, it wasn't no competition for him. And that's the way he wants us to view it. Don't view the devil as an adversary. He's just your brother. And being that if you train in the wisdom of the Father and you following the righteous Son, he gave you all the tools you need to overpower your other brother, to cast him aside. And all his angels and demons that come along the way, they try to throw us off our path. We got power over all them jokers. But the church and the religions and the camps, they holding out on our power. Page 235. Disturbed and malicious spirits. Disturbed and malicious spirits. This era is different from the first and second. Today, you live in a chaos of unchained elements, both visible and invisible. Woe to he who is not watchful, for he shall succumb. Even he who is prepared shall have to struggle. Thousands of invisible eyes are watching you. Thousands, legions of invisible eyes are watching you. Some to ambush you on the road, and others to protect you. The great legions of disturbed spirits, taking advantage of the ignorance of humanity and their insensibility and lack of spiritual vision, make war on them. Make war on them. Make war on us. Not people, it's these spirits. These spirits jump in people and operate through them. They jump into the matrix. They keep us in the matrix. When we come out of the matrix, we can see them for who they is. And the Most High open up our eyes. But long as you fear them, oh, they got all power over you. That's why the Most High did not give you the spirit of fear. And we're going to see about that in a minute too, in this other book. When you fear them, oh, they can do some things to you. Just like on Freddy Krueger. They were scared. On It, if you seen the movie It, Pennywise, when they weren't scared of Pennywise no more, he froze up. He kept coming. They were like, I ain't scared no more. And he just started shrinking. He just started losing his power. That's the way it really worked. But long as you scared, his power just increased more and more and more. And his angels and his demons just go crazy because you scared. And men have not prepared their weapons of love. And men have not prepared their weapons of love for defense against the attacks. So that in this struggle, they appear to be defenseless. We don't understand how the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. It is necessary that my spiritual doctrine come to you to teach you how to prepare yourselves to emerge victorious from the conflict. Most High ain't training no weak army. Nah. And the Most High hate cowards. Because if you a coward and you scared of Lucifer and his angels, they got all power over you. But when you take control and you say I ain't scared no more, and if you is scared, pray for confidence and heart from the Most High. The Wizard of Oz, when they had to go see the wizards for heart and courage, that's all you gotta do. Ask. Ask and ye shall receive. It might not happen overnight, but in time, and as long as you stay in the Word, which is your sword, the sword of the Spirit, it will sharpen you, and you will gain that confidence. You won't be fearing no devils and no demons no more. It is necessary that my spiritual doctrine come to you to teach you how to prepare yourself to emerge victorious from the conflict. From that invisible world that palpitates and vibrates in your own world, emerge influences that touch men, whether in their minds, their emotions, or their will, making them into submissive servants. Lucifer and his angels make us into servants for their will. You can't serve two masters. You can't be a servant to the kingdom of darkness because you scared and think you a soldier in Jah army. No, no. From that invisible world, that spiritual world that palpitates and vibrates in your own world, emerge influences that touch men and women, whether in their minds, their emotions, or their will. And we seen in the last lesson, all your thoughts are not your own. Emotions, energy in motion. Them demons will set energy in motion from you so quick. And then you wonder why things start to happen from you. You can't control your energy. You got to learn to control your mind. Because when you can't control your mind, you can't control your energy. And when you get to sending energy in motion this direction and that direction, because you ain't got no control over your emotions, your energy that you setting in motion, because of the thoughts, because you refuse to guard the portals, the eyes, the ears, the nose, the portals where the demons come in, the mouth, the heart. You got to guard these things. Be careful what you watching, what you listening to, who you talking to. All right, you got to be careful. Whether in their minds, their emotions, or their will, making them into submissive servants, slaves, instruments. This is why niggas kill each other every day, because they instruments for these spirits. They servants to these spirits. They slaves to these spirits. Spiritual warfare. This is what we don't understand. White folks don't kill each other every day like we do. The spirits don't run rampant on them in the same way they run rampant on us. They use them very clearly in other ways, but they use us specifically because they know the power that we hold. All right? And the Gentiles dispersed them in our communities and over the airways. The programming for the Israelites, black and brown people, is different than the programming for the Gentiles. They got way more options to cut that TV on and see themselves in a positive light than we do. The music. Sometimes I just used to listen to country music and rock and roll and stuff just to see what lyrics they had in their music. I used to study white folks the same way they studied us. Their kids is not subject to the same demons as ours. And that's a plan right there. The stuff that they cast over the airways for us to listen to and to see, oh no. It bring them demons in your life because you refuse to guard the portals of yourselves or your kids. You think it's harmless for them to be listening to certain types of music. It's harmless for them to see these wicked movies with all this killing and drug dealing and shooting each other. People think it's just entertainment. Nah. It's conjuring. They conjuring spirits and casting them out over the airways through programming. If cable TV went down tomorrow, oh man, they'll be in trouble. They'll be in trouble. The news, they be conjuring. The Rona is conjuring. That's casting spirits. And that ain't about black or white. They don't care who it is. They want everybody with that. If we had a news network and we cashed out to 1 billion people that the boogeyman running around these streets and he eating folks, I guarantee you're going to start receiving calls in the next 48 hours that people going to start seeing that boogeyman somewhere. And they don't even know what he look like, but they going to start seeing it. People don't understand spiritual things, spiritual warfare, the power of your mind. If I inject something into 1 billion people's mind, half of them going to start to believe it's true. A small percentage half of them might question whether it's true, but it's going to be a percentage. They're going to believe it because they seen it on the news. We're going to see that in the next book. That's one way that the devil operates. All right? That's one way he operates. It's through your mind, like we just read right here. Whether in your minds, your emotions. They cast things over the airways to get it into your minds and your emotions. That's how conjuring, that's one way it operates. You conjure up some spirits. Listen to videos with people that do witchcraft and voodoo. You'll see how I done listen to them too. I used to listen to ones that did use it for wickedness. They see what they say. I wanted to understand how it operates. I done heard them talk about how they conjure up spirits and send spirits into people and do different things and cast different spells or whatnot. I want to know spiritual things, so I listen to the wicked folks explain their wickedness. How they use menstrual blood to do different things or whatnot. Oh man, it's spiritual warfare is crazy. And it sounds like entertainment, but it's real, it's true. From that invisible spiritual world that palpitates and vibrates in your own world, emerge influences that touch men, whether in their minds, their emotions, or their will, making them into submissive servants, slaves, instruments, and victims. Everywhere, spiritual manifestations are surfacing, and yet the world continues without wishing to realize what it is that surrounds their spirits. It is necessary to take up the battle and destroy the darkness, so that when the light shines within men, all shall arise united in true communion, and with prayer, triumph in the struggle that they began against the forces that have for so long dominated them. Men and people have succumbed to the power of these influences without humanity realizing it. Strange and unknown illnesses produced by them have battered mankind and have confounded the scientists. Because scientists, the Gentile scientists, don't study spiritual things. So they can't understand how spirits can cause illnesses. But we read a couple lessons ago in one of them books on, what is it called? African metaphysics. We read how in our indigenous cultures, we knew spirits could induce illnesses on people. Alright? 36. Among humanity, legions of the beings of darkness come, like the clouds of a storm, causing upheavals, befogging minds, and bewildering the hearts of men. And although men have weapons to defend themselves from these assaults, some do not know how to choose from among them, while others do not even imagine that they had them. We can't even begin to imagine what spiritual weapons is. Alright? Like Paul said, the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. All these folks out here acting like the Gentiles, once again, going to get all the guns they can, not realizing the entities that's coming to the earth, some of them already here, and some of the ones that people starting to see, you can't shoot them. They put it in the movies. All the movies where they fighting them entities that they say come from space, you can't shoot them. You gotta learn another type of warfare. And this is why it's important why the Most High having us purify ourselves. Because when you purify yourselves, you're not gonna be the ones that they going after. They going after them low vibrations, because that's what they feed upon. Them low frequencies. That's why the Most High told us purify ourselves. You gotta purify yourselves, especially before the end come. Because the entities coming to the earth, it talk about in the Keys of Enoch, the grotesque beings. From all that stuff you see that they talk about, aliens and all these different things, all that stuff real. All that stuff they be putting in the movies is real stuff. It's just they didn't taught us it's entertainment. The humanity of today, as large as you consider it to be in number, is very small compared to the number of spiritual beings. And think about it. They tell us the population of the earth is I don't know how many billions, 5, 6, 7, 8 billion, something they be saying. But listen what he say. As large as you consider it to be in the humanity of today, the population of today, as large as you consider it to be in number, is very small compared to the number of spiritual beings that surround it. How strongly those legions invade the byways of men without them perceiving it. For men neither feel, nor hear this world that agitates around them. A man given to a life of sin is capable of dragging behind him a legion of the beings of darkness, who cause him to leave behind a trail of malevolent, wicked influences. You gotta be careful in these end times who you hanging around, who you associate yourselves with. The Most High told you, separate yourselves. And as we begin to see events pop off more and more, them just warning shots from the Spirit that the Most High, He giving us time to do what He told us to do. Because it's only a matter of time. Right now, like in the movie The Eternals, we preparing for extraction. And a lot of the Eternals is going astray because of their human side. They falling into their feelings and their love of the world. In the movie The Eternals, Most High told them, time running short. It's time to prepare for extraction. It's time to prepare. Wake the ones up that you sent here to do your part, play your mission, but it's coming to an end. And what happened? Almost all them jokers got in their feelings and they didn't want the world to be destroyed. They trying to stop the volcanoes from going off because they trying to save the world. And only one of them said, nah, I can't go against whatever name they have for the Most High, I don't remember. But he said, nah, I got to stick to the plan. Y'all wrong. Y'all wrong. They talking about they gotta save the world and all that and save people from the natural disasters. No. But you get a chance, watch Eternals. Oh man, that's a good movie. Even though the only brother in there, he a sweet brother. They gotta carry us in some way, shape, form, or fashion. But other than that, and the fact that all of the Eternals except 2 went against the Most High, it's a really dope movie. Let's keep eating. Next, let's go to demonology. Demonology, written by King James. Now, I know folks done heard about this book, but a lot of people don't read it. This is the annotated version. Alright? Now, King James wrote the Bible. He translated the 1619 Bible for us. Why they didn't give us demonology? Since the same King James that did the Bible is the same King James that wrote demonology. Now, if he gave us a description of the demons and what they do and how they afflict us, why they ain't give us this? You gotta think about these things. And it's some interesting things in this book right here. And this was before movies came out. And some of the things in here, you read about it, you will see where these movies get this stuff from. He talk about werewolves, people getting possessed by spirits. What we gonna see. I'm gonna go through a couple parts, so I ain't gonna go too far into it. This is broke up into different books. This the third book. This is a section called the third book. Alright. In this section, he talk about the description of the spirits that trouble men and women. The kinds of the devils conversing in the earth may be divided in 4 different kinds, whereby he affrays and troubles the bodies of men, for the purpose of abusing the soul. The first is where spirits trouble certain houses or solitary places. The second, where spirits follow upon certain people, and at diverse hours trouble them. The third, when they enter within them and possess them. The fourth is these kinds of spirits that are called vulgarly the fairy. Now, can you start to see where they got some of these movies from? All this stuff was really documented. Alright, we got the first one where it talk about spirits that trouble certain houses or solitary places. Remember Beetlejuice? Beetlejuice? Certain movies. The second one where certain spirits follow upon certain people and at diverse hours trouble them. Freddy Krueger. Chucky. The third, when they enter within them and possess them. The Exorcist, The Omen, the Amityville Horrors, and them type movies. The fourth is these kind of spirits that are called vulgarly the fairy. And we're going to see that's more so on the Freddy Krueger tip where the devil started to play with your mind. And we're going to see how Satan had plenty fun with the Gentiles. When the Gentiles came, he used them in ways that at the time he couldn't always use us. Alright? And he speak about that in here. Alright, and the way it's wrote is in the form of a conversation. So when you see PHI, that's the person that be asking the questions, and EPI is the person that be answering it. But it's all wrote by King James. He just formatted it in a question and answer way. And what mean then these kind of spirits that appear to his friend in the shadows of a person newly dead or to die? All right, so when the Gentiles had the movies where people come, when people then died and you see their spirits, and what they teach us is ghosts and things, This where they come from. The answer: when they appear upon that occasion, they are called wraiths in our language. Amongst the Gentiles, the devil used that much to make them believe that it was some good spirit that appeared to them then, either to forewarn them of the death of their friend, or else to discover unto them the will of the deceased, or what the method of his slaughter was, as is written in the book of Histories, Prodigious. In this way, he easily deceived the Gentiles, speaking on Lucifer, Satan. In this way, Satan easily deceived the Gentiles, because they knew not God. And remember, in the book of Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 17, the Most High told us they was alienated from the life of God, the Gentiles. And being that Lucifer is the head of the wicked spirits, you gotta know that he know that they alienated. And that's why us following them leads to us being alienated and blinded more and more, because we listening and following behind them, which some of these camps and churches got us caught up in that trap. So what happens? Lucifer wreaked havoc on us and our lives. In this way, Lucifer easily deceived the Gentiles, because they knew not God. And to that same effect is it that he now appears in that manner to some ignorant Christians or followers of Christ. For he dares not so elude any that knows that neither can the spirit of the deceased return to his friend, or yet an angel use such forms. All right, and go down to, you see that little cross-looking symbol? It's something at the bottom. It says, within this dialogue, King James illustrates his belief that the main reason the devil can appear as an apparition or ghost is solely due when the individuals in question believe so much in the matter that they deceive themselves. When you believe in something so much, it's a spirit that'll bring it true in your mind. That's why the Most High say guard your mind. All right? And following false spirits. When you start believing in certain, that's why they advertise certain things over the programming, like I was just talking about a few minutes ago. The Gentiles, they get you believing in something so much, Lucifer or one of his angels will bring it to life in your mind, and your body gonna react to your mind, your thoughts. Your thoughts is God over your body. You is the God of the universe, which is your body. As your mind goes, so goes your body and all the entities that reside within you. All right? You the God of that universe. And when the God of that universe gets deceived and altered, that universe is susceptible to them demons. King James illustrates his belief that the main reason a devil can appear as a ghost is solely due to when the individuals in question believe so much in the matter that they deceive themselves to a point that the devil will feed and act on that very belief or fear. Guard your mind, guard your eyes, guard your ears. Next, let's see what a mare is. Mare. Mare is an evil spirit believed to ride on a person's chest while they sleep and provides the victim with nightmares, often attributed with sleep paralysis. You heard people talk about when they wake up and they can't move and they feel like it's a spirit upon them. King James tried to warn us about this right here. Tell us what it was. It's the reason they hid this book right here. And they just put these things in movies like The Omen. They put it in movies to make you think it's entertainment and make you think it's not real. So when it hits you, you don't know what's going on. And they just tell you crazy. Mare is an evil spirit believed to ride on a person's chest while they sleep and provide the victim with nightmares, often attributed with sleep paralysis when the sufferer is aware they are either awake or asleep, but remain unable to move or speak for a certain amount of time. This spirit has also been co-identified in history with the succubus or incubus, depending on the gender experiences the torment. It is also thought to have been the origin of the term nightmare. These spirits get up in us and they do things to us we don't know about. Next, a description of the fourth kind of spirits called the fairy. The fourth kind of spirit, which by the Gentiles was called Diana and her wandering court, and amongst us was called the fairy, was one of the sorts of illusions. We just read about them illusions that Lucifer will play on the Gentile minds. Was one of the sorts of illusions that was the most widespread in the time of papistry, the time of the Roman Catholic religion. For although it was held repulsive to prophesy by the devil, yet for whom these kind of spirits carried away and informed, they were thought to be the most attractive and most privileged. The devil eluded the senses of various simple-minded folks, in making them believe that they saw and heard such things as were nothing so indeed. Lucifer is a master manipulator. And if you don't understand that you're a spirit, and when you be thinking certain things, or you see certain things and you start believing it's true, oh man, he can work some wonders on you. All these movies came from real life. It's not entertainment. Next, the Old Testament pseudepigrapha. Let's hear about this volume 1. It's a 2-volume set. The Old Testament pseudepigrapha. Go to the Testament of the 12 Patriarchs. Testament of the 12 Patriarchs. It's a good read, because they all, each of the 12, try to warn us of some things that they encountered that afflicted them. Each of the 12 sons of Jacob got a testimony. And we're going to start. We ain't going to go through all 12. We're going to go through bits and pieces. This is the testament of Simeon. Chapter 3. Testament of Simeon. Now, my children, pay heed to me. Beware of the spirit of deceit. Beware of the spirit of deceit and envy. For envy dominates the whole of a man's mind and does not permit him to eat or drink or to do anything good. Rather, it keeps prodding him to destroy the one whom he is envious or jealous. Whenever the one who is envious flourishes, envy flourishes, the envious one languishes. Out of the fear of the Lord I chastened my soul by fasting for 2 years. And I came to know that liberation from envy occurs through fear of the Lord. If anyone flees to the Lord for refuge, the evil spirit will quickly depart from him, and his mind will be eased. From then on, he has compassion on the one whom he envied and has sympathetic feelings with those who love him. Thus his envy ceases. All right. And we got to remember what the brothers did to Joseph. A lot of them speak on that in here when they tell what went on with them. All right. Next, let's get a testament from Judah. Testament of Judah, chapter 14. And now, my children, I tell you, do not be drunk with wine. He ain't saying don't drink it. He's saying do not be drunk with wine, because wine perverts the mind from the truth, arouses the impulses of desire, and leads the eyes into the path of error. For the spirit of promiscuity, has wine as its servant. Wine or liquor. More so liquor. Back then they weren't drinking hard drink too much. I think the Bible called it strong drink. They weren't drinking strong drink too much. It was used to heal wounds and for when you really got hurt. They was just drinking wine on the regular, but strong drink was for some type of healing or pain. But nowadays, liquor, strong drink, is just a regular drink. For the spirit of promiscuity has wine or liquor as its servant for the indulgence of the mind. If any one of you drinks wine to the point of drunkenness, your mind is confused by sordid thoughts, and your body is kindled by pleasure to commit adultery. Thus he commits sin and is unashamed. Such is the drunkard, my children. He who is drunken has respect for no one. See, even I was deceived so that I was not ashamed before the throng in the city. Because before the eyes of all, I turned aside to Tamar and committed a great sin and disclosed to my sons my acts of uncleanness. When I had drunk wine, I flouted shamelessly God's command and took the Canaanite woman. He who drinks wine needs much perception, my children. And this is the perception the wine drinker requires. So long as he is decent, he may drink. So long as he is decent, don't drink to get drunk. All right, get you a little buzz and chill. But if he exceeds the limit, the spirit of error invades his mind and makes the drunkard become foul-mouthed and lawless. Yet, rather than be ashamed, he boasts in his dishonorable action and considers it to be fine. 16. Take care to be temperate with wine, my children, for there are in it 4 evil spirits. There are 4 evil spirits in alcohol, liquor, or wine. Desire, heated passion, debauchery, and sordid greed. Each of these are spirits. They're not feelings, they're not emotions, they spirits. Desire, heated passion, debauchery, and sordid greed. If you drink wine in merriment, showing due respect for the fear of your Creator, you shall live. But if you drink without restraint, and the fear of your Creator departs, the result is drunkenness, and shamelessness sneaks in. But if you wish to live prudently, abstain completely from drinking in order that you might not sin by uttering lewd words, by fighting, by slander, by transgressing God's commands, then you should not die before your allotted time. The mysteries of God in men, wine discloses, just as I disclosed to the Canaanite woman the commandments of God and the mysteries of Jacob, my father, which God had told me not to reveal. Alcohol make you loose lip at times. when you drink too much, is what he was telling us. Next, let's go to the testament of Zebulon. Zebulon, chapter 9. See what he got to tell us. In the writing of the fathers, I came to know that in the last days you shall defect from the Lord, and you shall be divided in Israel, and you shall follow after two kings. You shall commit every abomination and worship every idol. Your enemies will take you captive, and you shall reside among the Gentiles with all sorts of sickness and tribulation and oppression of soul. And thereafter you will remember the Lord and repent, and he will turn you around because he is merciful and compassionate. He does not bring a charge at wickedness against the sons of men, since they are flesh, and the spirits of deceit lead them astray in all their actions. That's if you repent. If you don't repent, you still are charged. And thereafter, the Lord himself will arise upon you the light of righteousness with healing and compassion in his wings. He will liberate every captive of the sons of men from Belial and every spirit of error. He will liberate every captive of the sons of men from Lucifer. And every spirit of error, the demons, will be trampled down. All right. Let's get a word from Dan. The Testament of Dan. Chapter 2. Now, my children, I am dying, and I say to you in truth, that if you do not guard yourselves against the spirit of falsehood and anger, and love truth and forbearance, you will perish. The spirit of falsehood and the spirit of anger, it runs rampant in Israelite communities and families. The spirit of falsehood and anger, guard yourselves against it, and love truth and forbearance, or you will perish. There is blindness in anger, my children, and there is no angry person who can perceive the face of truth. For even if one is his father or mother, he treats them as enemies. If it is a brother, he does not recognize him. If it is a prophet of the Lord, he misunderstands him. If it is a just man, he is unaware of him. If a friend, he ignores him. For the spirit of anger ensnares him in the nets of deceit, blinds his eyes literally, darkens his understanding by means of a lie, and provides him with his own peculiar perspective. By what means does it ensnare the vision? By hatred in the heart. It gives him a peculiar disposition to envy his brother. All right. Is a couple more. Verse 3, 4, 5. He continued. We ain't gonna go too far into it, but he continues speaking out against that spirit of anger, and he gives you a better understanding of it. All right. Anger is a spirit. Falsehood is a spirit. Verse 6. Still coming from Dan. Verse 6. And now, fear the Lord, my children. Be on guard against Satan and his spirits. Draw near to the Most High and to the angel who intercedes for you, because he is the mediator between the Most High and men for the peace of Israel. He shall stand in opposition to the kingdom of the enemy. Therefore the enemy is eager to trip up all who call on the Lord, because he knows that on the day in which Israel trusts, the enemy's kingdom will be brought to an end. This angel of peace will strengthen Israel so that it would not succumb to an evil destiny. But in Israel's period of lawlessness, it will be the Lord who will not depart from her, and therefore she will seek to do his will. For none of the angels is like him. His name shall be everywhere throughout Israel, and the Savior will be known among the nations. Keep yourselves from every evil work, my children, and cast aside anger and every lie. If you angry and you know, first off, most angry people cannot own up to the fact that the spirit of anger, it just thrives in their life. But if you can own up to it, you can pray against it. You can ask the Most High, you can repent and ask the Most High to help remove that spirit of anger out your life. All right? But you gonna have to do it. You gotta own up to it though. Most angry folks cannot own up to the fact that they angry. All right? But anger is a spirit that will destroy you and those around you too, because it's a burning fire. Next, I go to the Testament of Gad. The Testament of Gad. Verse 3. And now, my children, listen to the words of truth, to perform justice in every law of the Most High, not to be led astray by the spirit of hatred, because it is evil beyond all human deeds. This is why Most High say we can't be walking around here hating the Gentiles or white folks or any other the tribes of the Gentiles. Alright? Because the Most High was the ones that set them upon us. But when you hold that hatred in your heart, not realizing that it was the Most High that did it, that set them upon us. So being angry and hot with them ain't gonna solve nothing. It's only gonna hurt you. Alright? But when these camps and these teachers teach us that the white man is the devil and that's our enemy, even though Moses said the Gentiles was our open enemies, because it was at that time. Moses knew the Most High was gonna use them as adversaries to fix us. Alright? But spiritually, as you grow spiritually, you realize your enemies is spirits. They not people. And now, children, listen to the words of truth, to perform justice in every law of the Most High, not to be led astray by the spirit of hatred, because it is evil beyond all human deeds. Whatever anyone does, he who hates is revolted. If he fears the Lord and hopes for good things, the hater has no love for him. The hater disparages truth, envies the successful person, relishes slander, loves arrogance, because hatred blinds his soul. It was in this way that I regarded Joseph. Speaking on Gad. Go to verse 5. Hatred is evil, since it continually consorts with lying, speaking against the truth. It makes small things big, turn light into darkness, says that the sweet is bitter. It teaches slander, conflict, violence, and all manner of greed. It fills the heart with diabolical venom. I tell you this, my children, from experience, so that you might escape hatred and cling to the love of the Lord. Righteousness expels hatred. Humility kills jealousy or envy. For the person who is just and humble is ashamed to commit an injustice, not because someone else will pass judgment on him, but out of his own heart, because the Lord considers his inner deliberations. He will not denounce a fellow man, since fear of the Most High overcomes hatred. Being concerned not to arouse the Lord's anger, he is completely unwilling to wrong anyone, even in his thoughts. So we got to release the spirit of hatred. Next, go to the lost books of the Bible. Let's read some from the Shepherd Hermas right quick. 2nd Hermas, chapter 10, verse 2. For sadness is the most mischievous of all spirits. If you ever seen the little kid movie called Inside Out, oh man, I like that movie. It showed how the little girl, when certain spirits, it got joy, anger. There's a couple other ones. Joy is the one that's in control the majority of the time. But when his fire try to take over, things start going wrong. And when sadness started to take over, sadness got to the point where joy lost control. And sadness just took over. Oh man, that's a good movie showing how spirits operate in our mind. And when the wrong ones get in control, our whole life go down the wrong path. For sadness is the most mischievous of all spirits, and the worst to the servants of God. It destroys the spirits of all men and torments the Holy Spirit. Why? Because your nature is peace. The nature of our spirit is peace. The only thing that can add to peace is happiness, joy, and all of the fruit of the spirit. But sadness counters. It brings you out of peace. And it grieves your spirit. It vexes your spirit. All right? It ain't good to be sad or angry or hateful or any of them other works that come along with the flesh. But like you say, sadness lingers. You ain't gonna be angry but for so long or it's gonna give you a headache. But you can be sad and depressed for days, months, and years. And it just, you can't have the spirit dwell with you when you're in sadness. That's why I say sadness is the most mischievous of all spirits and the worst to the servants of God. You can have some righteous anger built up in you sometime. It's going to die back down. But ain't no righteous sadness. Nah, that sadness is wicked. Verse 18. Remove therefore sadness from thyself, and afflict not the Holy Spirit which dwells in thee, lest he entreat God and depart from thee. For the Spirit of the Lord which is given to dwell in the flesh endureth no such sadness. Wherefore, clothe thyself with cheerfulness. Cheerfulness restores your peace. Sadness destroys it. The Nag Hammadi. It's the last book we're going to go into. It's almost over. The Nag Hammadi. The authoritative teaching. In this very way, we exist in this world like fish. We exist in this world like fish. The adversary, speaking on Lucifer, Satan, Simeon, spies on us, lying in wait for us like fishermen, wishing to seize us, rejoicing that he might swallow us. For he places many fools before our eyes, things which belong to this world. He wishes to make us desire just one of them, and to taste only a little, so that he may seize us with his hidden poison, and bring us out of freedom and take us into slavery. And he got many baits, no matter what you lust for. You lust for food, you lust for power, whatever it is that you lust for, or you got a weakness for. You got a weakness for materialistic things. You love to shop. Oh, here how you shop until you drop. He always gonna bring something new to your eyes to make you work harder. All right. Also, you have less time for the Most High, or so you can fulfill one of his wicked deeds for him. All right. If you lust for power, he gonna have you doing some unrighteous things to acquire that power. If you lust for money, he'll give you a little bit and keep feeding you a little bit more here and there, to where it's gonna pull you farther and farther away from your spirit, man. If you lust for food, he gonna keep feeding you, and all these science projects that they come out with every month, you gonna keep getting more and more. And as your temple get weaker and weaker and weaker, it's gonna start afflicting your spirit. And all of it is to pull you away from your Father, pull you away from the Most High. All right. The bait that lures us into his trap. You like draws? You like being a hoe? Oh, he gonna keep bringing them spirits your way until you resist. You like drugs? What kind of drugs you like? You gonna keep running across them type of people. When you try to stop being a weed head, all type of people come your way. Oh, look at what I got, bruh. Hey, look at what I found. Oh, I got this. I got that. Oh, he gonna keep trying you. Whenever you try to stop some, people gonna come your way to test you, to see if you really done or not. Or to see if you want to come on back for a little while, get back into it. All right? He wishes to make us desire just one. All he needs you is to lust for is one thing. And it takes only a little, so that he may seize us with this hidden poison and bring us out of freedom and take us into bondage. For whenever he catches up with a single food, it is indeed necessary for us to desire the rest. You always gonna want more. Whatever you lust for, you always gonna want more. If you a thief, you always gonna need a higher, some higher to go steal. You start off with small things, but it's gonna increase. Whatever it is always gonna increase. That's what it's telling us. Finally then, such things become the food of death. All right, let's continue the same theme. The teachings of Silvanus. My son, throw every robber out of your gates. The gates, the portals. Guard all your gates or portals with torches, which are the words, and you will acquire through all these things a quiet life. And that's speaking on being quiet in your mind, in your heart. But he who would not guard these things, he who would not guard the portals, your eyes, your ears, your mouth, your nose, your heart, he who will not guard the portals, these things will become like a city, which is desolate since it has been captured. All kinds of wild beasts have trampled upon it. For thoughts which are not good are evil wild beasts. These are the demons. And your city will be filled with robbers. Speaking on your heart, your soul, you're going to see. Your city will be filled with robbers or demons, and you will not be able to acquire peace, but only all kind of savage wild beasts or demons or evil spirits. The wicked one, who is a tyrant, is Lord over these. While directing this, he, the wicked one, is beneath the great mirror. The whole city, which is your soul, will perish. Your soul will perish if you do not guard the portals. Stay in the teachings of Silvanus. Part that says, listen, O soul, to my advice. Do not become a den of foxes and snakes, nor a hole of serpents and asps, nor a dwelling place of lions, or a place of refuge of basilisk snakes. When these things happen to you, O soul, what will you do? For these are the powers of the adversary. Everything which is dead will come into you through them, the powers, the demons, the evil spirits. For their food is everything which is dead. Their food is everything which is dead. The works of the flesh, hatred, envy, jealousy, all those works of the flesh, they dead. The fruit of the Spirit got life. But the works of the flesh bring death. For their food, the food of the demons and evil spirits, is everything which is dead, brings death, and every unclean thing. For when these are within you, what living thing will come into you? The living angels will detach you. The living angels will detach you. You were a temple, but you have made yourself a tomb. You were a temple, but you have made yourself a tomb. Cease being a tomb and become again a temple, so that uprightness and divinity may remain in you. Light the light within you. Do not extinguish it. That go for your belly too. Your belly is once a temple. But due to you only eating dead flesh, you done made it a graveyard. Your health is gonna follow. Alright? If your belly is a tomb for just dead body parts, what you think your health gonna be? No, you gotta restore that thing. Put some life on back up in that belly. Alright? So it can be a temple again. Most High temple is not a tomb. No. Next. My son, prepare yourself to escape from the world rulers of darkness, and of this kind of air which is full of power, or spirits, or evil spirits, or demons. But if you have Christ, if you got the spirit of truth, the spirit of your brother, the light of your brother, you will conquer this entire world. That which you will open for yourself, you will open. That which you will knock upon for yourself, you will knock upon, benefiting yourself. Help yourself, my son or daughter, by not proceeding with things in which there is no profit. My child, first purify yourself towards the outward life, what's outside of you, in order that you may be able to purify the inward. Guard the portals from the external agents so you can purify the internal agent, which is the spirit of the Most High. Your soul is the internal agent that needs to be guarded by you guarding the gates from the robbers, guarding the portals from the robbers of your peace and your soul. All right? Peace.